We live in a great time of transformation, going all the way back to 2006, 2007, when the real estate boom really came to that wallowing end. We have seen real estate go up and down all the way around. We have seen some of the areas come back. We have seen some of the areas still going down. Nobody knows whether to keep their houses and or to get rid of their houses. No one really knows where to go. But as these investors in the AKA real world are losing money and are hedging their bets, there's other real estate that has become available, widely available. As we continue to lose here, there's others on the internet that are grabbing the real estate that's so valuable and are making millions upon millions of dollars. How are they doing it? They own and they're creating new addresses. It's like an open world, a new continent that was just discovered and is being pieced down in the middle. And everybody's finding out what names that they want, what addresses that they want, where they want to be hosted, where they should be hosted. They're putting real estate up for sale that's that Miami Beach on the water, and they're making tons of cash off it. Tons of money that's coming in, influence from bigger companies, lower companies, common individuals like ourselves. You see, when we look at mastering sales with the internet, mastering sales with URL and domain creation, and then the buying and selling and the trading, we have to remember that whether or not you have a business experience and or degree or money that you can use to go invest online, your passion or your knowledge to build your own fortune and create the future that you always wanted is waiting right there for you. You see, it doesn't matter. This is a new opportunity. You can go buy, you can go sell, you can do anything you want with very, very little cost to you. It's time to make money. Stepping into the realm, what do? Now I know you really can't see our little sales funnel here, but we have depression. We have how do we use your passion to make millions? And then we have the economic recession. How do we use all this stuff against everybody else, against all odds, and then rack it into our own bank accounts? How can we misshape the environment that we're currently in and say, how can we put it inside our own sales funnel? What can we do to get our piece? Well, you see, when you drop all these pieces in and they fall into our pyramid of success on the internet, we are making money online. We first have to establish credibility, our search engines and public, right? We have to attract our traffic, and then we have to make money from visitors. And then there's all different ways that we can do this. So when me and you look at what is our opportunity on the internet, we look at this. Well, first off, we need to make money online. How do we do that? We can buy, we can sell products. We can become an auction site. We become a blog information site to capture information and become an affiliate to go sell leads to different vendors, whether it be for health insurance, whether it be for auto insurance or mortgages or refi or loan modifications. We can go all the way down to car warranty. There's so many different opportunities that we can use a website for. We can use it for information just to attract individuals to our website and then charge marketing costs to other vendors. We have to establish credibility with search engines. We have to say to ourselves, okay, great. Now we have that URL, we have that website, well, then we need to establish our credibility. How do you do it? By optimizing your site, which we're going to go into. We have to attract traffic. How do we attract traffic, Mike? I'm going to show you. SEO, search engine optimization. We hear that term coined all the time. We're going to show you how. We're going to become more detailed oriented as we start to progress through the nature. More importantly, we need to make money from the visitors. Again, a blog site, an information site. How do we make money from the visitors? Well, guess what? The more unique visitors you have coming to your site, the more you can charge an individual to advertise on your site. This is the whole point of Facebook, Twitter. Well, what do? They charge advertisers to market and solicit customers on their sites. They're not selling a product, they're selling their service in order to market on their page. AKA, they are selling their real estate. They're renting, they are leasing, they are subleasing their real estate to tenants like you or me. And guess what? Those individuals renting or leasing those spaces or even purchasing spots, what are they doing? They're then selling to somebody else. There's an infinite amount of ways to make money. More importantly, We have types of sites. We have auction, social media, just like the Facebook, just like the Twitters. We have retail sites like Walmart.com, like Amazon.com. Subscription sites, a reoccurring site, Wall Street Journal or IBD. We have dating sites. We all know these, right? Plentyoffish.com, and then you have your JDates, and we can go on and on. Attractive sites, right? Marketing engine sites. We need attractive sites that deal with, let's say, a sport. Let's go with motocross, football. Those are attractive sites to come by, sports sites, which are attracting individuals to come to their site, become members of the site to see and read free information and be marketed to. Information-based sites like Obamacare, Obamacare.org, something that's discussing something important that's happening inside of the news or that's happening in society, or just a general statement and or theme. It could be people that like to ride mountain bikes, a mountain bike information guide, dog sites, pet sites, information-based sites, which bring people to the sites and then they attract information, unique users, and then charge the dollar for it. Then your sites, your ideas for your sites, YouTube sites, video sites, anything that you could think of can be a website, but it's going to fall into one of these categories. More importantly, what we have to do is first figure out what part of the internet we want to become part of. We have to say, do we want this address to exist and become real estate that we own and we want to show off? Is it a piece of real estate that we want to buy and sell? Is it a piece of real estate that we want to buy, fix up, and then sell? You see, as you think of homes, think of the internet, it's the same thing. More importantly, only I could see this, but number one, domain selling, unique record locator, pay to own your property, right? You have to think of a domain as a piece of property. That URL is your street address. It's your house, right? It's that unique record locator. That's what URL means. So first we need to think of a name, right? Their address is like a number to the street or the house, so we have to say, okay, well, one of my companies is the Insurance Academy. So we dubbed it INS Academy. So it's insacademy.com, short and sweet. INS is for insurance, right? Everybody knows that term. So insuranceacademy.com. We also have findapolicytoday.com. We also have bootybobblers.com, bobblelegs.com, right? Bobblebooties.com for our dolls. With Health Insurance Innovations, one of the companies I do a lot of business with, they have HIIquote.com. What is your address going to be? How are you going to attract customers? You have Amazon.com, you have the eBays, you have the Twitter, you have the Yahoo, you have Google. You have all these different names that you need to think of to be different. And if you're going to have that different name that has nothing to do with the subject, well, then you've got to create something behind it. You got to create that following, right? So whatever you dub your name to be, realize that it has to do with the area of work and or expertise, right? So your expertise, carsales.com. Give you a for instance. Carsales.com sold for over $400,000, right? MyCrib, mycrib.com sold for $33,583. Criminallawyers.com sold for over $175,000. These are people that owned URLs, either built up the URL, built the following, or just owned the name, and then somebody else came in and said, I really want that name, I'm going to bid on it. I'm going to go offer them a price for it. And these are the amounts that they got. See, naming URLs is identity, so be creative. You got to be creative, right? You got to deal with the subject to get the beer bucks, like beer.com, right? I call it beer bucks because they sold for tons of money, over $1 million. Way over, and people are bidding on it, people want it, every beer company wants it, right? Think about what you could do inside maybe one of your interests and then peak and scale it up. Think about something that's happening currently. Maybe it's going green. Well, goinggreen.com, right? It's probably taken. So what else can you come up with? Everybody's thinking about, environmental recycling, bio this, bio that. What can you name going green? Think about it, right? You have Green Day, the band, make it a green day, right? Make the future green. We can think of all these different ways to come up with a unique record locator, that URL. Think of new trends, what's hot, what's not, or what's going to be, what can be. Bellbottoms.com, is that going to come back? What is the current trend right now, right? Is it your three-piece suit? Is it True Religion jeans? Think of areas that people are really interested in and what's really heavily being sold right now. And to go find a name and then cross-reference it and then come up with a thesaurus lookalike. More importantly, develop a site, right? Or sell it like it's real estate. Now, people don't usually know the value of a name, and you can probably get them for bargain prices. Now, we're going to go over where to get these names that are currently for sale, and I'm going to include PowerPoint presentations for you so you can go by and you can look up everything individually. But there's a lot of people right now that don't know the value of what they really have. I know a lot of people who deal with health insurance and they have some great names for sites and they don't realize the amount of traffic that they can get by just the name alone, that people are going to remember it. I know that friend of mine, his name is Todd Marshallak, he owns Atlantic Pools over in New Jersey, and he had AtlanticPoolAndSpa.net, right? All spelled out, .net. No one really referenced this. .com's more commonly used. A lot of people don't remember .net and they're going to type in .com. It's going to come up with somebody else's site, right? And then his site needed a lot of work. So I said to him, I said, listen, we need an easier name. So then we came up with, and we own GetMeAPool.com. I said, if you put this on the back of your shirt, you put it on your van, somebody's going to recognize and realize that, wow, GetMeAPool.com. Hey, honey, you remember that? Yeah, GetMeAPool.com. Compared to AtlanticPoolAndSpa.net, right? If you say GetMeAPool.com, it's easy to remember. It's a catchphrase. So think of some catchphrases that you can go by, and then maybe you could buy and sell them. Now, parked pages help people learn about subjects. So when you buy that URL, right, park the page, right, just meaning about, it's a parked page, so you're just using it for information. Put a blog on there. Allow people to write about the subject, give ideas, give references, right? And, give inspiration. And then you write, something like, what do you guys think about Obamacare? And let people come on and blog onto it, but put as much information on that site as you can that's legit and legal. And then the more information that's on there, the spiders are going to come out from the search engine, see your site, it's going to optimize it, right? And then it's going to attract more unique users. And then all of a sudden, we have a beautiful park page that people are going to start to recognize, say, oh, I'd really like to own that. You could develop people pages into valuable properties, right? So you could develop other people's pages into valuable properties. How do you do it? Well, let's just say somebody that originally owns beer.com really didn't understand what they had. And then another individual came in and said, you know what? I want to put everything about beer on this site, where you can get it, how it's made. I want to put everything imaginable. So whoever searches about anything to do with beer, it's going to pop up. And then I'm going to have all the big breweries want to advertise on my site, whether it be Anheuser-Busch and or, the Heinekens and, the Coronas and stuff. We go on and on. But the point is, when you build up a site, you take it over from somebody that didn't realize what they had. You could build it into something and just think about it as redoing and remodeling a house, right? Picture that house on the water that was built in 1920. You're going to knock it down and you're going to rebuild it into an empire that somebody's going to say, wow, that is a gorgeous house. I would really love to live there. That looks like a really expensive piece of real estate. And more users will come and then more eyes are going to see. So moving on, we're choosing the right domain. Category domains, information-based sites that attract about 10+% of people who purchase goods online sign up for information on a generic, right? A very generic source. So I want you to think of it like this. If an individual's looking up beer, 10% of those people, right, on an information site will send up, yeah, send me more about this, or, subscribe me to the newsletter, right? Subscribe me about the memos about the beer. Tell me what's going on. So just remember, whenever you have, the category domain, information-based site, it's going to attract out of 100 people, right, 10 that are going to want to learn more. So how can you use this? Well, you want people to come back to you, right? The more people that come back to you and buy off your site, rather than saying, okay, well, insurance by that guy, Michael Tobias, was pretty good, but let me go see everybody else. Well, now they're shopping through everybody else. No, you want to keep pressing them and you want to send out the mailers. You want people to sign up for that newsletter, right? So on an information-based site, you need enough content to attract people to say, yeah, I want to go back. Oh, that site was really good. You know, that Wikipedia really made sense. Or, you know, Amazon, you know, they send me offers all the time. I'm going to go buy from Amazon again. Oh, look, another deal from Amazon. Oh, look, another deal from Walmart. Oh, look, eBay, you know, they have a special on X, right? Well, when you do that, people come back to you. 800 Mattress gives us a good feeling that it's real, right? It's mattress.com, right? 1-800-mattress.com. Think about that. Catch domains, phrases like insurancewatch.com, myinsurance.com, moneywatch.com, mymoney.com. Catchphrase domains are huge and they're very powerful to go by. Now, when you look at a catchphrase domain like moneywatch.com, well, think of all the financiers, Merrill Lynch, Citibank, all these people are going to want to hunt in there. And the mutual funds, the annuities, everybody's going to say, wow, I would really love to have that, right? So we need to focus on where people want to be and what's happening now. What are you passionate about, right? How can I get my catchphrase domain? If I can't get money.com, can I get insurancewatch.com, my insurance watch, or money watch and or my money watch? Think about that for a second, right? Now, moving onward, we have buying and selling domain names. Is it registered yet? How do we do that? Well, you go to betterwhois.com. That's betterwhois.com. When you go to betterwhois.com, you can go see if your domain exists and if it's being used, who's it's being used by, right? You can also go to GoDaddy.com, right? Or, you know, there's so many different ways that we could do it on the internet, but GoDaddy and betterwhois.com are usually some of my top picks. It's easy to use, you know, it's right there. They have all the resources and it's very cumbersome. Check if it's expiring or the owner wants to sell it, right? Maybe it's up for auction. Maybe, you know, insurancewatch.com, you know, is going to be coming available soon. And the owner's like, I had enough of this. I just want out. I'm going to put it up for auction, right? Maybe you have the money and you want to bid on it. Think about that. Just drop.com shows names that have expired or people don't want. About 40,000 names every single day are dropped, right? Maybe not the names that we want, but you never know. It could be a new trend or it could be an old trend that's coming back, or you could be saying, you know, I really wish I had X domain. And then all of a sudden you go on justdrop.com and you see that somebody dropped a domain. Now you can go pick it up. So even if it's already owned, just make sure that you go check justdrop.com or one of those sites and say, okay, great, now I can go pick this up. Oh, I really think I can go build that into something. So think about that. It can be very profitable if you go to justdrop.com. Maybe sometimes people don't even realize that their domain dropped. Sometimes people don't have the reminder set in, or you know, the hosters purposely did it, and you can go in there, you can go bid it and or pick it up and go buy it real quick. So think about snatching things up and you know, getting everything done your way. So never give up on your name, because you may still be able to get it, and or you know, kind of a euphemism of it, if you will. More importantly, domain names are usually $7 to $15 brand new, right? For, you know, 2 years, right? If you go 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, of course you're going to be paying a little bit more, but not that much, right? You know, you figure for 4 years, what are you going to pay? $28? You know, you get more discounts as the more years go. Don't hold the domain for 100 years or something crazy like that, right? I usually recommend 2 years, right? 2 years, this way you can always renew it. Just set it up for auto renewal, okay? And this way you can watch it. So if you don't do anything with it, you don't get stuck with it. But if you do something with it, now you can have the choice to renew it and then of course sell it. More importantly, how long do you register for? We just covered dnjournal.com. It lists public domain sales. So if you go to DN, D as in dog, N as in Nancy, journal.com, it's also going to give you a list, just like a lot of other sites will, of URLs that are coming up for sale, okay? Now, what can you make, right? As seen on TV, look how much this sold for, $5.1 million. As seen on TV. God, 5.1 million. I wish I came up with that, right? We all do, but these are all things that come up through our heads all the time, and we say, well, no one would ever buy that. What am I going to do with that? Well, you do it, you're going to make $5 million. So if you have a new trend, a new TV show, or you know, you have a new character that's coming out, go do it. Go do whatever hot trend, the kids' toys, this toy, that toy, TV shows, anything that you see in the news, go buy the URLs. You might be able to sell them, okay? Fund.com. Fund, F-U-N-D, as in dog. Sold for $9,999,950, almost $10 million. How much can you make off the domain? It's really up to you and what you do with it, right? Sky.com. Who would think? Sky.com sold for $1 million. What do you think they do with Sky.com? What is it related to? Again, take the relations. If Plane.com, right, is taken, think of what can I do with Sky.com? At space, maybe it's airplanes, or how do you know? You can build it into anything. It's the way you market and position yourself. Okay. Now, datarecovery.com. Look how long that thing is. Datarecovery.com. Think of things that nobody else will. That sold for $1.6 million. $1,659,000. A lot of money to own in a URL. Nice piece of real estate, don't you think? eFlowers. eHealth insurance. eFlowers.com sold for $1 million. SkiResorts.com sold for $850,000. Cyberworks.com sold for $1 million. And guess what? When people pay this much for them, sometimes they even bid it up to somebody else for more. Now, Sedo, S-E-D-O, buys and sells thousands of URLs a week. So does GoDaddy. They have auction, this, that. But Sedo, right here, you can see the big, roundabout conglomerate that we have here. You have attachment to the domain exists, right? It depends on how they're attached and the price that they're willing to go for and willing to sell it for. Full-fledged business exists, right? So does your URL have a full-fledged business in there? Is it Amazon.com? If it is, it's going to go for more money. Is it doing business? Then it's going to go for even more money. Now, it depends how attached they are to the price and will they sell it, right? So if you have an individual that you want to buy, let's say, beer.com off of, maybe that person's really attached to beer.com and really just wants to keep it because he likes posting pictures of him and his friends drinking, or he just likes to type about beer. Well, he's going to want a higher value for it. Now, you have to negotiate and figure out how attached they are to what they're really willing to let it go for. Can you get it? Absolutely. There's always a price. Remember that, right? Now, what are your goals for the domain? So before you go buy it, before you do anything, say, what are your goals for it? Don't just go buy URLs. I have friends that come to me, I just bought this, I just got this, oh, listen to this domain. And I'm like, okay, it's great, but what are you going to do with it? You're just going to sit on it. You're going to park a page for it. You're going to advertise for it. You're going to build a social site. You're going to build a YouTube site. You're going to build video. You're going to do this. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll figure it out. Okay, you do that, right? Figure out what your goals for that domain are before you really do it. Figure out where the best bang for your buck is going to be. So if you're the type of investor or a business opportunist that's saying, well, I got 10 grand. What can I do with the 10 grand? Well, you can go buy a site that exists and then make it better, or you can go buy a URL for $7 to $15 and build your own site. It really depends. You got to start doing your little map and say, okay, if I went to go pay a programmer, just how much he's going to build it for, and then I got to market it. I have to do my search engine optimization. I got to do my just think about it before you do it, right? Clear plans bring clear pictures, okay? Now, we have to understand that our plans to do something, right, would be more like contacting another individual saying, well, if I had a site that dealt inside your industry and had 100,000 unique visitors every single month, how much would you be willing to pay for that site? Or how much would you be willing to spend on advertising on that site? If you can reach 100,000 unique guys every single month, maybe your site can make an upwards of $8,000 to $10,000 a month, right? I know a lot of young individuals, web junkies, I call them. A lot of them being my friend, and they make $7,000 to $15,000 a month sitting at home. And I say to them, that is phenomenal. So why don't you guys expand on what you're doing? Because all they do is build a site, they create it, and they just let everybody blog and throw all the information on. They have all these unique visitors, and they're smart enough to realize that somebody was going to pay to get their product in front of these visitors. And then they show what kind of people are coming to their site and what kind of site it is, and then they go market to those types of products, right, that are going to fit them. So take the youth of today, right? You have a lot of younger advertisers going to my friends' websites and just throwing money at them. And to a young individual, it's a lot of money. So what can you do with your site, and how much work are you willing to put in? Now, we have the internet is huge, has a lot of opportunity, right? It's like that city that you live in. You got to look at it and look at the building across from you, or look at the house across from you, and then look down the street. How much are those houses worth? Let's say you live in a normal neighborhood, and each house is $250,000. Well, you see 10 of them. Well, how much money is that, right? Way over 2 million, 2.5, right? Well, now think about the next block, and the next block, and the next block, and then the buildings, and think of how many apartments that the buildings have in them, how many condos, how many townhouses. Now think about the town over, and the town over, and the town over, and the city over, and the city over, and the state, and the state, and state, and state, and state. Think about this, then the country, 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 and the world. Think about how much opportunity you have. And if you got $1 from every house that existed within your town, how much money would you have, right? Now think about this. How far are you willing to go build something? Do yourself a favor, claim a piece of this. Don't let it pass you by. Don't just park in your garage and be happy with your piece of property. Get more, build more, make it more lucrative. Valuable virtual real estate, that's what's out there right now, right? So if you missed the housing boom and we all didn't sell in the high, and now all of a sudden we're losing money, well, now's the opportunity to get in low and sell high. It's a totally different thing, right? Stock market, buy low, sell high. Same thing with the internet URLs. Credibility is always going to be key. So make sure you go on betterwhois.com. Make sure that you know who you're dealing with, you know what kind of websites that you're going to build, that you're making the correct contacts, and of course, we'll provide you with a whole list of contacts and individuals that can help you market through SEO and/or purchase, different types of marketing for your sites and build your sites. Watch our next module for more success, obviously, and I just want you to realize that we are here for you. We are here to help you come up with different names, but ultimately, we don't want to do it for you. We want you to think of something creative, something that you love to do. If you're an individual that loves to spin, right? It's the new fad. What websites can you create, and how can you attract traffic, and how can you use it? One of my friends developed a site where they have marathon runners, and all the marathon runners go to the site and they can see all the marathons all across the country and the world, and then choose where to go and how to register. They have the marathons coming to go advertise on the sites, right? Walk for cancer, walk for this, run for this, the 5K, the local 8Ks, and then they have individuals blog, and they allow individuals to upload the information, and then all of a sudden they have all this attraction, all these unique visitors. They're just killing it on marketing dollars. Take spinning, for instance. Maybe you want to create a spinning website where individuals come on and they can see the new spin bikes, the new spin classes, the new fads, the videos of some of the best clubs, the best teachers, where to go, where not to go, right? Allow people to make comments on, certain spin shops within the neighborhood and certain bikes, and then, the biking events, and, the tour day this, the tour day that, and then allow the bikes to start advertising, right, on the sites. So think about all these crazy things that you can do, right? Maybe it could be yourlocalspin.com, right? And then say to yourself, how much money can I make? What do I want to do this? Do I want to build it? Do I want to sell it? Do I want to develop a concept, a parked page? Do I want to make it social, non-social? Do I want to develop a dating type site? And there's always places to go on the internet where you can go buy all these shells, and then you go spend very little money and to go build out these shells yourself, depending on how much time you're willing to spend with it. And then you can market the hell out of it and make a ton of money. I'm here for you, just trying to give you some ideas. We're going to go into a few more modules to discuss how really to execute on those ideas. Right now, I just want you to brainstorm. Come up with something very creative, something new, something that's in, something that's trendy, something you are passionate about that you're willing to put in the extra work. And then you too can be like funds.com and sell for way over $9 million, close to $10 million. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're like sky.com that you can go make $850,000. You don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's my crib where you're going to make over 35 grand. You need to decide for yourself where you want to be, how much work you want to put in, and is it worth it? I think it is. I know it is because I do it. I want you to as well.